What's unfortunate is that in allopathic medicine, they don't always ask, have you had a brain injury? Unless you're in a neurologist's office, unless you just had it and it's big enough for you to put it on there. But you have your people that have concussions and are really like taken back, and then they go into the ER, they're treated, go home, rest, turn off the lights, do the traditional things, and then they have significant issues later. It goes under the radar as, well, they don't have a brain injury, but they may have. It's just not on their history, and nobody's asking the question. So my biggest challenge to all providers out there is ask the question, have you ever had a brain injury? And with a lot of women, it's, have you been in a domestic violence relationship? And I know that these are like generalizing statements, but sometimes we have to get general to get the information that we need. We have to ask those probing questions like, have you ever had a brain injury?
I think you'd even have to go deeper than,
like some people might not know that they've had a brain injury.
Yes,
right.
that too, of like, what kind of brain injury? Like, so for someone who, let's say someone who works in a more physical field, like, okay, let's take an MMA fighter, or they're in sports, or they work offshore.
Let's just take a teenage group of boys that are playing football or soccer together, and one of them gets thrown down.
Exactly.
I mean, it may not necessarily be a concussion where they have to go to the ER,
Yes.
but I mean,
those same boys might have some behavioral issues that no one really can explain.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to the football field.
That's why I called it brain injury nurses of Acadiana, is because it's like really serving any brain injury. Because if you can look at the nervous system and say, if I can neuroregulate and create resiliency through that, then that's where your behavior changes. That's where your cycle breakers, that's where your chain breakers, that's where you really get the maximum changes, is by tapping into the nervous system and saying, how is this person, are they able to neuroregulate? And what does that mean for them?